In the days when the Israelites had turned away from God, when their enemies, the Philistines, ruled over them with iron chains and cruel laughter, there arose a man chosen before his birth, a man destined to be a judge, a deliverer. His name was Samson. Before Samson was even born, an angel appeared to a barren woman from the tribe of Dan. He said, "You will conceive a son. He will be a Nazirite, dedicated to God from the womb. No razor shall touch his head, and through him Israel will begin to be delivered from the Philistines." And so the woman gave birth and named him Samson, meaning sunlight. And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir within him. Samson grew into a man of unmatched strength. He was unlike any man in Israel. His power was not from training, nor from muscle, but from the Spirit of God that rested upon him. But Samson's heart was restless. He often walked to the Philistine territories, curious, drawn by what he saw there. One day he saw a woman in Timnah, a Philistine, and though his parents pleaded, "Is there no woman among your own people?" Samson insisted, "Get her for me, for she pleases me." On his way to Timnah, a lion came roaring toward him, fierce and wild. But the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon Samson, and with his bare hands he tore the lion apart as easily as one tears a young goat. Days later, when he returned, he saw bees and honey in the lion's carcass. He took the honey, and as he ate, he said to himself, "Out of the eater came something to eat.
Out of the Eden came something to eat. Out of the lion came something.
It's time for some riddles.
And of trouble." At his wedding feast, Samson posed that riddle to the Philistines. But when they could not solve it, they threatened his bride, forcing her to betray him. And when Samson learned she had told them, his anger burned. He went down and struck 30 men of Ashkelon, took their garments, and stormed away. When he returned, he found his wife given to another. So Samson took revenge again, catching 300 foxes, tying their tails with torches, and setting fire to the Philistine fields. And the Philistines swore vengeance. The men of Judah, fearing the Philistines, bound Samson with ropes and handed him over. But when the Philistines shouted against him, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him again, and the ropes melted from his hands like flax, touched by flame. He seized the jawbone of a donkey, and with it struck down 1,000 men. When he finished, he said, "With a donkey's jawbone I have made donkeys of them." And he named that place Ramath Lehi, Jawbone Hill. Exhausted and thirsty, he cried out to God, and God opened a hollow place, and water flowed. So Samson drank, revived, and judged Israel for 20 years. But Samson's heart was still drawn to temptation. He went to Gaza and lay with a harlot there. The Philistines surrounded the city, waiting to kill him at dawn. But at midnight, Samson rose, took hold of the city gates, doors, posts, and bar, and tore them out of the ground, carrying them on his shoulders up to a hill near Hebron. His strength was unmatched, but his weakness was his heart. Then came Delilah, a woman from the valley of Sorek, beautiful, cunning, and dangerous. The lords of the Philistines came to her and said, "Entice him. Find the secret of his strength, and we will each give you 1,100 pieces of silver." And so she began to ask, again and again, "Tell me, Samson, what makes you so strong?" 3 times Samson deceived her. First he said, "If I'm bound with 7 bowstrings," then, "If I'm tied with new ropes," then, "If you weave my hair into a loom." Each time she tried, and each time he broke free. But Delilah persisted, pressing him day after day, until his soul was vexed to death. And finally, weary and blinded by love, he told her the truth. "A razor has never touched my head. If my hair is cut, my strength will leave me." That night, as Samson slept upon her lap, Delilah called for a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair, and the Lord departed from him. When she cried,
"Behold, Samson,
"The Philistines are upon you," he awoke and thought he could break free as before. But he did not know that the Spirit of the Lord had left him. The Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with bronze chains, and he ground grain in the prison, the mighty Samson, now blind and broken. Yet, as days passed, his hair began to grow again. One day, the Philistine rulers gathered to offer a great sacrifice to their god Dagon, saying, "Our God has delivered Samson into our hands." Drunk with celebration, they called for Samson to entertain them. They led him into the temple, a vast hall supported by 2 great pillars. 3,000 men and women looked on from the roof, mocking him. And Samson said to the servant who led him, "Let me rest upon the pillars that support the temple." Then Samson lifted his face to heaven and prayed, "O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me just once more, that I may take vengeance upon the Philistines for my 2 eyes." And he braced himself between the 2 pillars, one hand on the right, one on the left, and cried, "Let me die with the Philistines." Then, with all his might, he pushed, and the temple fell upon the rulers and all the people in it. The dead he killed in his death were more than those he had killed in his life. His family came and took his body, burying him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the tomb of his father Manoah, and thus ended the life of Samson, a man chosen by God, blessed with strength beyond imagination, but broken by his own weakness. He judged Israel 20 years. Samson's story is one of power and downfall. It reminds us that no matter how gifted we are, when we drift away from God, even our greatest strength becomes our undoing. Yet, even in failure, God's purpose prevailed. For through Samson's final act, deliverance began for Israel. Strength without obedience is destruction. But surrender, even at the end, can bring redemption. This is the story of Samson.